Hello, have we now started working? Sorry I'm a bit late, the internet seems to be playing up today. I'm not sure if we're live or not. I'm going to wait for just a few numbers to come up and a few people. It seems to be playing up today. Okay, I can see we've got some people on. Hi, good morning. Sorry guys, I'm having technical issues this morning. For some reason, I've got a few comments coming in, so hopefully, touch wood, we're all okay now. Hi, good morning, Joe. Sorry we're a bit late, one of those days. So this is what we're going to be making today. We're going to be taking care of all your summer jewellery. Some really simple wrapped bracelets. Good morning, Janet. Hi, Paula, Alicia, Elaine. Hi, Ruth. Really nice simple wrap bracelet, but we're using some beautiful cat's eye beads. Now these are new shapes that have only just been loaded onto the website. So, good morning Camille, hi Diana, good morning Jan. So they've only just been loaded onto the website and we have the most amazing deal on them. When Simon said he was popping these on onto the website under a good deal, I hadn't quite anticipated how inexpensive they were going to be. So I'm going to take you through, I'm just going to turn you down straight away. Hi, good morning Mina, hi Brenda, hi Anne. Okay, so really beautiful wrapped bracelet, and it's such a simple technique. Sorry guys, I'm still having the kitchen done, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Okay, so beautiful cat's eye beads. They are rectangular in shape. They've got a gorgeous cube cut to them, which means that they are super sparkly. As you know, cat's eye beads are beautiful anyway, and the colours are absolutely stunning. So I've also got the beautiful royal blue here. There is a lovely sort of lavender tone. This is a slightly different shape. These ones are tubes, but the colours are the same that you'll get in your bundle. But as you can see, they just lend themselves really beautifully to be wrapped, and it just gives you this lovely movement and bit of colour as well. So I'm going to be wrapping onto this gorgeous metallic plaited cord. And then we've got a lovely button as our clasp. Dorothy, I love that. Good morning, all beadaholics. Here we are. Good morning, Doris. So very simple techniques. We've got a button as our clasp. We're going to sew these on. So I'm actually going to weave it, and then we're just going to go over to strengthen it at the end as well. A couple of extra steps. And the great thing is these are really good to gift or sell, because you can put as many of these little knotted sections along the bracelets. I've actually bought a few of these in the past from a little designer that I used to follow. They were quite expensive, but when you got them, they would have 3 sections like this, and you just cut to the length that you need. So one full strand is going to give you 12 centimetres in your actual bracelet itself, and then of course you have the rest of it to be able to fill. So one strand will go around your wrist. You are actually going to get several strands in the set, so let me just show you on the website. Let me lift this up so that you don't get my silly light in there. On the website, onto Facebook tutorials, and you'll see today's wrap bracelet. Now the cat's eye beads, you're going to get all 10 strands. Look at this as a rainbow selection. So you've got beautiful mint green, an emerald green, yellow, there is an orangey red, your royal blue, light blue, turquoise, and then into your really soft pink, pale pinks, and then into your lavenders. So you're going to get about 300 cubes in all, which means that if you're going to be doing your bracelet, obviously you don't even have to do it all in one colour, but because you have 10 strands, you could be making 10 bracelets out of these sets. Now they are normally worth £20. They are £8.99. So that is way under £1 a strand. And each one of your strands has about 30 beads on it. So I'm going to use this beautiful orangey tone today. I'm going to use it with my palest gold in my metallic threads. Yeah, the yellow is beautiful. The yellow is going to look absolutely amazing for summer. Lucy's saying, wow, fab deal. I know, it really is amazing. Doris, morning, Kitty. Not seen you for a while, been very busy. Oh, yeah, Kitty will be with you tomorrow. I'm also going to use these buttons. We've got these on the website as well. Let me just show you. Yeah, so Kitty was meant to be doing telly tomorrow, but she can't come up. So I'm going to go in and do the telly. So it will be Kitty on the Facebook Live tomorrow. So this is the braided cord that I'm using. We have it in the antique gold, the antique silver, gold or silver. I've got 3 of the colours here that I'll show you. And then we've got our lovely buttons as well. They are nickel free, 17mm, and you get 4 in a pack. They're just £1.50. And for 5 metres of your cord, you're only looking at £1.50. So when you are getting as amazing deals like with your cat's eyes, you want something like this because it's going to make you be able to do all of these mass makes for very little expense as well. And then the only other thing I need is my needle and thread, which has fallen on the floor. So I have picked a thread colour that matches my cord as best I can. I've got just over 1 metre here, so it's a very generous arm span of my cord. You don't really need that much, but depending on your knots normally take up about 1 inch. So depending on how many you're going to want to put on, like I just said about your little extender section at the back, then you want to give yourself ample materials to be working with as well. Remember, you can always take it off, but you can't add it back on. Sylvia says, just going over to the website. I'll be right back. Don't worry, you won't miss too much. I'll go slow. Okay, so with your cord, I've taken a generous arm span, I've added on my button into the middle, and then I'm going to tie a knot. So I like to keep my cords so that they don't overlap, so that they stay nice and flat, so you don't allow them to twist, pulling them through and then making sure that they will just stay in position really nicely. And then you want to position it as high up to the button as you can. Now, you may have seen me position knots before. It's super easy. Keep your knots oversized, and then we're just going to roll it up towards the top. So you'll see I'm using my index finger and my thumb to squeeze that knot up to the top, and the left of my leftover fingers are just pulling that excess through. So you're just squeezing it all the way up, and then you want to pull them individually just to make sure that each side tightens up, and just try to not allow them to overlap, and you will get a lovely, neat and perfectly positioned knot. So you don't want it too close up because you want a little bit of movement on this button, because with our finding, with our fastening, the button is going to go straight through there and hold into place. So you want it to have that little bit of movement so that you can obviously put it on and off with ease. So just allow it to have that little bit of give. Okay, and then we're ready to start going. So with your beads, obviously they are quite wide, but I think it gives you, with the plaited cord especially, it just gives you a really nice summery bracelet style. If you wanted to fill these gaps with smaller beads, you could, but in this design I just thought we'll keep it nice and simple and keep it nice and easy. So to attach your threads on, first of all, now the plaited cord is great because you can actually get in between your cords like so. So I'm actually sewing through the cord itself. If you had something like a waxed cord, some of the smaller cords, I'm going to leave a nice tail so that we can thread this on afterwards as well. If you had some of your others, it can be a little bit tricky because you can actually pierce the threads, but this gives you an open weave, so you'll be able to come in there. So I've gone through twice, and when I pull this, I'm going to leave myself that little loop. So I'm just tying a half hitch knot actually on the cord itself. So leaving that loop, bringing it through that loop and pulling that nice and tight. And then this cord, once we've finished, I'm going to weave that back through. This one now, I'm just going to move through the actual open weave, probably down about 1 centimetre, just so that I can get to the position where I can open up my cords enough. And this is why having a cord that is the right colour for your thread is really nice. I'm just going to come back through, going in the other way. It doesn't matter if you actually pierce the cord itself. Just going to encourage that to go through, so that will save my place. So all you're doing is manoeuvring, ready to start your weave. And I know I've only got 1 half hitch knot at the beginning, but like I said, once I've got that tail sorted, once we've finished, I will weave this back in and we can secure that over again as well. Love this style a lot. Reminds me of the Chanlu style that I used to love. Oh yeah, Dorothy, now you can start making them yourself. So I'm going to take my cat's eye rectangular bead, and that's now going to be in the right place. So my thread is in a good position. So now what I'm going to start to do is weave it in, and we're basically going to go in a figure of 8. So we're going to take my cord, and then I will make sure that I've positioned it in the middle so that I've got an even amount of thread on both sides. So you can pull this up and over. So can you see how there it's a bit wonky? You want to make sure that you're going to pull it nice and tight. And your first one is always going to be a bit trickier, but that will set up your cord position for the rest of your bracelet. So you want to make sure that you're going to get it so that you have a nice even finish. So I would say here is good. And then we're going to take our thread and we're going to go over the top. So I'm just going to hold this in place just where it is. Over the top of our metallic cord, through the bottom, and then through the bead. So can you see now that's given me a nice little loop up on the top, and I can pull that into place. Okay, and that's going to sit really nice and neat and even. And then we're going to go underneath, pick up a bead, pull this down. Now I've got a lot of thread here because obviously I've given myself enough for the bracelet, but hopefully you'll still be able to see. So it's just like if you're looming. So if any of you have used a bead loom before. So you're going underneath, adding on your bead, up and over the top, and then through the bead through to the other side. So you're just looping that cord up onto your metallic, knotting your thread, sorry, looping the thread up and over the cord. And can you see now it's going to start to take shape. Now I'm just going to repeat this over and over again until I have the length of bracelet that I require. So a few tips to make sure that it's going to stay in place. Keep on pulling your thread underneath your cord. And then when I get to this stage, I hold it with my finger. So again, I'm pulling with my fingers all that tension through. And then I hold them nice and flat in my hands. I'm going up and over the cord. So up and around the back, and then through the bead, and then it's coming out on the top at the base. Oh, I'm getting caught up in my pliers. Let me move those out of the way. And as you can see, if it moves, it doesn't matter because I can just pull this tightly, get it back into place, bring that in, and you can edge these and nudge the cords into the right place. Now I'm going to do this a few times, and then I'm going to show you the extra steps that I took just to neaten it up and really secure it into place. But can you see, you just get the most amazing shine. Camille says, is there a discount code today? No, there isn't, but the beads themselves were £20 and they're down to £8.99. So rather than a discount code, you've got the amazing bundle on the new beads. And the huge big discount you got on there. So up and over the top, underneath and through. And then you've just got your cords and your buttons to add in. They're £1.50 each. Excuse the kitchen noise. It was a bit silly of me to probably sit in the study, really. I probably should have gone upstairs. I just got my thread caught on this one, so I'm just going to pull that through. You have to keep an eye on some of the ends of the cords because every now and again you will get one little bit caught up. So I'm just keeping them all nudged together. We'll do a few more and then I'll start showing you my little tip to get it right into place. So bringing it over, under, through and up and over. Oh, guys, my place sounds like a building site. Well, it is a building site today, so I do apologise. You'll have peace and quiet tomorrow because you'll have Kitty back. Ever the professional me, guys, eh? Oh, dear. Over and through onto the other side. Okay. So, once you've got a few of these secured, and you'll find that you get into a really good swing of things, you're going to get it all nice and easy and get into a great little rhythm. And like I said, I actually used all of my strands, all of my beads from my one strand into my one bracelet. So there's about 30, and that's going to give you Cheryl says, I disappeared to place my order, so might have missed what thread is best for this. So you want a strong sewing thread. Now I'm using the, I think it's a D. Where is my thread? From some of my weaving kits that Kitty has brought to you before. So I'm just using this because I'm actually going to triple reinforce this. So although you might think it's not going to hold into place, by the time we're finished with it, these beads aren't going to go anywhere. I found that it was the best because we've got so many different colours of them that you will be able to... Oh no, Kitty says, not quite. We're having the ceiling fixed in the dining room. Oh man, we've got it all going on. Oh, so I'm going to be coming from one building site to another. I'm going back down to the warehouse and back down to stay with Kitty on Thursday once I've done the telly. So maybe we can just hide on the veranda together. We'll escape it all. Oh dear. I think everyone's had so many jobs that they've been needing to get done during lockdown. And obviously only now we're just about managing to get things done. So I guess we're probably all in the same boat. Julie says, a bit of noise doesn't put me off watching. It's good for us to let us into your home every day. Oh, thank you so much. I do get really worried about it. But then you're right. You know, we've been together for so long. I think we were saying last week it was like 21 weeks, which is insane. I think if we hadn't had lockdown, I would be worried about it. But considering we've all been at home and we're all in a similar sort of position, I'm so grateful that you can just forgive me for normality going on in the background, which is very nice. It doesn't put me off my beading, so I'm glad it doesn't put you guys off either. Thank you. Okay, so we've got a good few going here. I might just carry on going because it's coming together reasonably quickly, actually. I think we'll do a little few more and then we can start adding some bits and pieces in. Lorna says, could you add a seed bead to edge when it's all done? Oh, yes, you could. If you wanted to do like a little picot edging along the outside, you could put seed beads along it. Now, you could even, the cat's eye beads are quite wide, but you could even add in some of your other beads. You could add in a bit of pearl, maybe a bit of crystal, some extra seed beads. You could add whatever you want to in this. The main feature is the cat's eye. So long as you make sure that it's a similar sort of width and length, then you are going to have a perfect finish. And then just keep on checking that tension. So I'm just nudging them down every now and again. Don't worry that it looks quite loose at the moment because we're going to straighten that up. Any of these kind of little gaps, don't worry about it. We will fix those in a minute. But yeah, it would look beautiful edged with some lovely beads as well. That would be really nice. And the great thing is, because you're getting your beads very inexpensively and all these gorgeous colours, you can mix and match it to any of the materials that you've got in your cupboard. You could add extra beads in, put your own finishing touch onto it. I'm just going to show you the very basics of working with these threads and cords. And I love this look as well. It's really lovely. We had a few ladies saying yesterday that they're struggling wearing a lot of metal jewellery at the moment, because it's tarnishing, and that does happen a lot in the summer as well, with your sweat and things like that. I know it's not very glamorous, but it happens to us all. So something like this, when you're using materials like this, of course, apart from your metal button, this is going to be super comfortable for you to wear on your skin. The cat's eye obviously has a lovely cooling touch and effect as well. Love it when Sarah goes to Kitty's. It means lots more projects in the making. Yeah, do you know what? We had to cut the last one a little bit short just because we all had so much going on. I've still got some projects left. We've got some beautiful summer roses coming towards the end of the week into the weekend. I've still got some macrame projects to do. I've got some weaving to do with some lovely tubular beads. There's so much that I've raided the warehouse with last time. So we managed to plan all of August, but we're going to try and get ahead now as well and get planning into September. Plus we've got quite a few TV shows coming up, so it's always worth an extra visit. Okay, so I'm going to start sewing this into place. I've got a few more beads to go, but I don't want to bore you just doing the same thing over and over again. Should we just do the few more? Okay, let's just do it. I'm going to finish it off because I would like to show you how to tie the knots at the end as well, and then I'll have a full bracelet. And as you can see, it really doesn't take long to do. Like I said, once you get into the swing of it, it comes together very quickly. I hope you can all see this pattern that I'm achieving. Up and over, it comes underneath the cord, through the bead and over onto the other side. So it's just like a figure of 8, which is really, like I said, effective, and you get into a good little swing. You just got to mind your little end cords. So at this point, I'm just keeping it all together in my fingers and lining them all up, and then we'll do the nice little straightening and neating. This is like the main bones of the bracelet, and then we'll neaten it up afterwards. I think these colours are absolutely gorgeous. What colours are your favourite in the bundle? Obviously the Cat's Eye bundle has all 10 strands in there. They are a new shape to us on the website. I think there's lots of different fun things we can be doing with these, but just when I saw them I thought, oh, these would be great for a wrap bracelet. And I just love the way they shine once they are all together. So you get that really... You could use them obviously as lovely spacers. You could string them onto your projects. You could pop them onto head and eye pins and such like. But I just think the colour of them when they're all together, I absolutely love. Hi, good morning, Robin. I'm a newbie to beading to your channel from New Jersey. Hello. Been watching for about a week. Probably a silly question, but do you ship to the US? Yes, we do, Robin. Pop onto the website. We'll have all the details on there and you can join in with our goodies. Thank you so much for joining. I'm glad you've been watching for about a week. If anyone else is new, just come on and say a little hello. We're all a friendly bunch, I promise. It's so nice to hear where everyone is watching from. So like I was saying, we've been doing this for about 21 weeks. Well, actually, so we're probably into week 22 now. Every single day at 10 o'clock. Bar one, which was a pre-recorded video, and I don't think that's bad going at all. So we've had some lovely interaction from all over the world, and some of the most amazing bundles. So thank you to Kitty and Simon for those as well. Lynn says, good morning, I'm new too. Hello, good morning, new Lynn. Lucy says, I've been watching for about 21 weeks, yet here from the start, Lucy, weren't you? So I have reached the end. Okay, so we're going to neaten this up and do our final little touches. So I'm just going to make sure that I have the right amount of cord all the way along. I'm just going to nudge these along ever so slightly just to neaten it up, making sure I've got a great finish. And then, of course, when we tie our knots on this end, you can see that's going to give us a lovely neat finish up at the top as well. But what I wanted to do, and what I've done to my silver one, is just neatened it up by going back through, and I've actually sewn through the cord itself. Now, what I found quite useful to do here was to take my flat nose pliers and just hold the cord and push your needle through using your pliers, and that will bring you through the cord itself. It's not tricky to go through, but it just helps you with that little bit of encouragement. A lot of the time you can go straight through the open weave, like I had said about at the beginning. But when you get to the base, sometimes it's a little bit easier if you do struggle just to use your flat nose pliers just to give it that extra little bit of support. And this is why I chose a thread that was the same colour as the actual cord itself, because when I'm doing this, you're not going to see any of it at all. So just make sure if you can't go through, pick a little bit of the open weave, get to the top, and then if you struggle, you're going to have a bent needle at the end of this, but I bend mine on most of my weaving projects anyway. And then you're just going to keep on going through. So I'm just crossing over the top, through the cord itself, into the bead. And this is probably the bit that takes the longest, but it has the highest impact throughout the finish of the bracelet. This is what's going to make it look really pretty, professional, and it's going to be super strong. So already you can see that these ones have lined up beautifully. There's no gaps, the cord is pulled in nicely, and there's no gaps in between any of the beads, whereas you can see we've got a little bit of irregularity down here as well. Welcome to a totally fantastic beading group on a daily basis. Oh, that's so nice. I think you're all welcoming the newbies. Which is really lovely. And I just think it's amazing that, you know, the kind of reach that we've had as well, even 21 weeks down the line, we're still finding some new customers and new people to join us every day as well. So thank you to everyone who shares the videos, who comments and interacts with us, because you've just made all of this possible for us to continue doing it for as long as we have been. Now, I am going to run out of thread on this one. I thought I had enough, but I know I'm going to run out of thread. So what I'll do is tie this one off, and we'll attach a new one on, just so that I can finish it. And I know I'm going to run out of thread, so we might as well do it whilst I've got enough. So can you see that just where you get these little gaps through the tops, this end step is just going to give you that reinforcement, make it look really pretty, and just give you that lovely finish. We were talking a few weeks ago in one of the videos about sometimes you look at jewelry and you just think it's not quite finished. The end and the sort of really professional finish. You can tell a difference between something that's been finished well and something that hasn't been. It kind of just has that little step missing in it. And very often things like this, if you are gifting, it's going to give you the confidence because you're reinforcing them, so you can gift it and sell them with confidence. But it just gives you a better finish and a much neater finish. Okay, so I'm going to finish my thread on this one. So let's go underneath the thread path. So underneath the thread where I have my beads, so this is a half hitch knot, underneath my thread path, leaving that loop, just like we did at the beginning, coming through that loop, and I've now got a half hitch knot on there. I'm also then just going to go back down through my cord. I'm going to come out the bottom of the bead. I'm going to miss the cord itself, so I'm only coming out of the bead, and that's so I can do another knot down here as well. So underneath the thread, no beads, just the thread path, leaving that loop, coming through, tying that off, and then I'll go back up through that bead as well, because that will give me a longer tail, and now I can cut that off. So pulling up with my thread, down with my pliers, and that will give me a lovely, neat finish. And you'll do exactly the same thing to start a new thread. And you'll weave all the way back through. Look, you can even see exactly where we've gone up to, because we've got that much neater finish. And that's all you'll do, guys, all the way down to the end, where you can then secure your threads and seal them off in the same way. Goodness me, in the same way, sorry. With your threads at the end, we'll do the same thing with our tail thread as well. You can always put a little dollop of glue on there, just for a little bit of extra reinforcement as well. And then tying our knots at the far end. So you want to make sure that you have about the same size triangle at the top as you do at the bottom. So I'm going to hold this in place. Now my index finger and my thumb on my left hand are going to be my stopper, if you like. So that's going to be my marker as to where I actually want my knot to be. And then I'm going to bring these around, again making sure that they don't cross over. So I've got that lovely little neat finish. They've crossed over in there. And then we'll do the same thing again. So extra fingers are going to pull through. Index finger and thumb are just going to wring that knot down to my marker, which is my index finger. So pulling it through, wringing it out, wringing it down, positioning it into place. And once you get into place, just pull each thread individually, because that's going to give you a lovely, nice, neat finish. And then you want to make sure that the gap that you're leaving is going to fit your button. So bring your bracelet round. So we'll loop this over. And like I said, this is one strand. So one strand of my beads, about 30 beads per strand. I know that this is going to fit me perfectly. like so. If you do need slightly bigger, just remember you're getting all 10 strands of your cat's eye beads. So you've got plenty in there, but you can also do extra knotted sections like this. So you have extender chains as well, so that you can always increase the size like that. So I'm going to go for about here. Again, using my index finger and my thumb as my marker point, bringing these cords without knotting them over and crossing them over, straight through, pulling it down, and just before I tighten and neaten this one up, I'm just going to double check. So just check that your button will fit through there perfectly. So that's a good size. That's going to give me a nice good finish. Pulling that through, tightening up each individual one. Perfect. Okay, now finishing the ends. Because it is a plaited cord, you will find that once it's got moved a couple of times, it will actually just start to unravel. So what I've been doing is taking an extra bit of my thread. You don't need a lot, but just a little bit. Popping it onto your needle. Anyone who knows me knows I hate threading a needle live, but we're okay today. Okay, fine. So, tying off the ends, I'm going to cut this just to leave me a nice little decorative. Remember, if you want those extension loops, so if you're gifting or selling, do another knot, maybe even a third knot, and once your customer receives it and they've got the right length, they can trim it to size. So I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to stagger those ends, just because it gives you a slightly more decorative finish. And then I'm going to then I'm going to sew these ends together just to make sure that they don't unravel. So I'm going to go all the way through these cords, and just be careful of your fingies, because the last thing you want to do is stab yourself with these. Bringing it through, and I'm just binding it together. So I'm just going to tie an overhand knot with these two, and this will just prevent the ends of your leather cord from fraying. So we'll just do an overhand knot. That's going to bring these together, and again, it's why it's so handy to have the same colour thread as your cord, because you won't even know that you've done it, but you will be able to gift it with the confidence, and you'll be able to wear it knowing that it's not going to come undone. I think that's probably about enough. Let's just do one more through these little sides. And again, just be careful of your fingers. Stabbed myself in the cuticle yesterday, which was really painful. There we go. And again, I'm just going to do a little half hitch knot to secure. So I'm going to go through, leave that loop, bring that through, knot that off, and then to finish, just move away from your knot so you can come underneath. Let's go through a little bit of this thread down here so that we've moved away. And then you can always take a little bit of clear nail polish, a little bit of glue. You've now bound those ends so that Camilla says, ouch, yeah, it really was. I'm just glad I didn't do it live. So you've now bound those ends so that it won't unravel. And I did that on my silver one, using my silver thread, so you can't even tell that it's been done, but you know that that's not going to come undone. You can't burn the cords with these, they'll just burn, it won't melt, there's nothing on it that will actually then bind it like we would with some of our macrame knots. So you can put a little bit of glue on there as well, but knowing that it's bound is going to give you much more confidence in the actual bond itself and in your cord. So there we go, guys. There is your beautiful summer wrap bracelets. I hope you love them as much as I do. They are really lovely to wear. I've got my grey jumper on today, so I was going to put this one on. It's so cooling on the skin because it's the cat's eye. As Lorna suggested, you can always do those little picot edges. You can add extra beads into them if you want them to be a little bit fancier as well. And I'm just going to reattach a new thread and finish off just neating up that last little bit of my bracelet. But you can see you can have some real fun with the colours. You're going to get 10 strands in all in your sets. So you're going to have plenty Kitty colours to be working with, and lots of summer fun to be had. So guys, I am going to be back with you on Thursday. Kitty tomorrow. I will be on Create and Craft TV at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning with some fabulous kits from Kitty and obviously everyone at Totally Beads, and I will see you in a few days. Join Kitty tomorrow 10 o'clock, so you'll have a double whammy tomorrow. You'll have me at 9 until 9:45 on Create and Craft TV, and then you'll have just about enough time to make another cup of tea and hop online onto Facebook and see Kitty as well. Thank you so much for joining. Let me know in your in the group section what you're making. If you would like to see some more like this, we'd love to see what you've been making. You can obviously request lots of different videos. Look at the movement in those colours, it's just beautiful. Yes, we have the Totally Handmade by Totally Beads Facebook group. Lots of you sharing your pictures in there, and we do love to see it, so thank you very much. Love to you all, and I will see you in a few days. Take care, bye.